in stage one, and these teams have been neck and neck in terms of that head-to-head result. Now Chiefs punching for one of those top spots, still on the cards for them to make it straight to that major in first place. QConfirm still in that middle pack. Let's dig into the up ban.
Yeah, definitely not expecting anything too crazy here on Cafe, but you know, the bans feel like they've started to evolve a little bit throughout the year, so sometimes there is room for some target bans. Seeing that Thatcher come out first out of the gate, though, I mean, that's really such a familiar sight these days, isn't it, Dev?
Yeah, surely is. And funnily enough, QConfirm take a very long time to think about the Lion ban, which comes through. Is that because QConfirm are a really loose team? Is it because they've seen players like Worthy really do a lot of work on for Chiefs?
I think that's pretty accurate. You know, QConfirm, they have that kind of ingrained Thai playstyle of Siege, where it can really flip between, I guess, what you might describe as tame and then really off-chain. So Lion can be a great counter to that. And as you said, you know, the Chiefs have really not been afraid to bring Lion into their attack lineup. So it's probably a pretty solid target ban there coming out of QConfirm.
Yeah, and look, bringing on Ethan to the Chiefs, replacing Vast, has certainly been a firepower upgrade. Ethan and Worthy have been on point. God Legion as well, a really notable name for Chiefs. But QConfirm themselves they've been making just gradual roster changes here and there. They've kind of been toying with the idea of this six-man roster for such a long time, but Roldini is not in. They have Dark coming back into the roster. He's been with them for quite some time. QConfirm just haven't quite had that roster stability that other teams would typically really aim for. I don't know whether that hurts them or whether that helps them.
Always hard to say, isn't it? But we are going to find out right here. And the 6th pick from the Goyo to the Pulse, I think, is a really great one. Not indicating early that they could be playing from that reading fireplace bomb site. You know, much more typical to bring the Goyo for a top floor defense, and a Pulse can definitely give away that you are defending either one of those second floor bomb sites or the basement. So I think that's a really cool little 6th pick there. And
did that Goyo reveal bait actually get producer room to switch onto the floor? Like, is that why we saw the 6th pick onto the floors? Were they thinking, hey, there's a Goyo, so we better 6th pick onto it? Maybe they're a little bit of a bait. Maybe QConfirm fell for that one.
Yeah, I think you're right. I actually think that could be the, you know, the root of that Flores pick. But at the end of the day, Flores is just generally a strong pick in most attack lineups at the moment. So it's not really going to lead QConfirm particularly astray.
No doubt, but it is reading for the first defense here, and it looks like Chiefs have really put to work on this top floor setup. A lot of good reinforcements, very default, but nice touch is that really heavy setup on the bar. This is a run out from Digital, not looking for a spawn pick, just looking to take down that drone. That's quite valuable. It is just the first drone that QConfirm have lost, however, but they'll have to get to work in the early and mid round to really hunt down these roamers.
Yeah, sometimes, you know, it's worth it just doing that little run out for a drone. So we'll see whether it does come back to hurt QC in terms of their drone economy. But yeah, look, I think something about Cafe that you've come to really know is always going to happen, and that's going to be a top-down clear, and that's what QConfirm are going to look to do here. They're going to try and get this top floor control, most likely in through Piano, and clear across bar to take Cocktail. Now, there's some very important vertical control they're going to need in Cocktail to try and set up some kind of execute in towards reading. So, of course, Chiefs are here ready to hard defend this top floor.
Thank God Legion certainly taking that inspiration to the fullest. Oh, I like this from Worthy too. A lot of teams will reinforce that wall at top red to Piano, but no, Chiefs liking to play very aggressive here. A really wide open setup, eager to open as many angles as possible and take these gunfights with the help of the information gathered by Digital below.
Yeah, and that's a really good call out here from Digital. At least, you know, there's going to be some info on the side of Chiefs, and he gets the first pick onto Lycolis as well. Really great start from the Chiefs here.
QC start to put some more pressure on this top floor. Without their hard breach, options are somewhat limited. But they just need to keep getting to work. Digital's fallen back. He can now play for C4 from within reading itself to anyone that pushes up from bar, which is really what QConfirm need to be doing now. They need to properly take control of this top floor, clear out Worthy, and I believe it's Ethan playing it. Cocktail as well. There's just a lot of work to be done for QC, and only a minute remains.
Yeah, and that's where it really gets tough. If you haven't got that cocktail control pretty much coming into this final minute, it can be really tricky. So it looks like QC is starting to pivot here. They might be setting up to try and make something happen in dining, but Worthy was going to be the big linchpin to preventing that. That's a beautiful frag grenade from Spacehead. Does put QC kind of back in the picture here, Dev, but they are running out of time.
Another nade, but it doesn't find anything other than perhaps some utility. Producer Boom looking to backstab, but God Legion is just so ready for this entry. 30 seconds left, still enough time for QConfirm to do a last-minute drone, but this is going to be a very precarious push. Chiefs have so much map control, there's no vertical pressure, and QC are going to have to frag out, but Ethan's the one that gets the first word in, and it looks like the last word may well be for Chiefs as well. Producer Boom, the last one, he'll find a freebie onto God Legion, getting a little bit greedy downstairs, but Ethan can clean that up, and Chiefs looking in control from start to finish.
Yeah, in control perfectly describes that. Chiefs never really looked that under pressure at all, and it really played out pretty much exactly how they would have liked it. They got the early intel, Digital really big with that opening pick, taking out Lycolis on the Hibana at that. You know, not a massive deal losing hard breach on that attack, but it stalled QC out enough where time just was rolling away from QConfirm, and they had to start to make some quick decisions, and that is just generally always going to favor the defense.
I feel like a lot of these bomb sites favor the defense just in general, Raven. I feel like that reading bomb site is just so well, I don't know what I was going to say meted. I use that as kind of an adjective. I don't really think that's a thing, but I feel like just teams have figured out how to defend that bomb site in a way that is just, oh, such a goddamn headache to attack. So I'm not too surprised that Chiefs won that, and I'm not too concerned for QConfirm. I think that we have only seen the tip of the iceberg of what QC is capable of here on what is statistically their best map.
Yeah, we'd definitely love to see them just stay in this game. You know, a 3-3 half would be a bit of a win, honestly, for QConfirm. As you said, the defense on Cafe these days has generally been really well played out. So to be able to stay in touch on the attack side is pretty crucial. If they manage to get at least 2 to 3 rounds, that will really add up. But I'm casting my mind back. I haven't actually opened the stats yet, but I'm pretty sure it was actually QC that got absolutely slammed by IG last stage on Cafe, right?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, look, it's funny with QC, right? Because like, you look at the stats overall, including all of the local leagues they play in, and Cafe is the map that they have won the most out of any map this year, 10 wins. But there's also a lot of losses there, 6 losses and also a draw they had to elevate. But you start to really dig into some of those results, and yeah, there's some significant losses. You know, in Stage 3, they lost it to Direwolves 7-3. That was just recently. You look a bit further back in Op Thailand, they lost a close Cafe game to Elevate. You look even further back and you get that 7-1 from IG. But they've had some good wins. You know, they beat Order on it as well. They've had a tie against Elevate, which is ironic, 2 Thai teams tying. But yeah, look, I think that QC, this is a good map for them. But it's really Chiefs, it's the question here, because these are the guys that always ban it. What have they got to show?
Yeah, I think that's definitely going to be a really important highlight. And this is a really, really great clear from QConfirm onto God Legion. But good refrag as well from Digital coming out, and Worthy's found another off-site. So that is still going to give Chiefs that man advantage out of that little first opening minute tussle. Importantly though, QConfirm now have at least some decent positions in Bakery.
Starting to push on up, but without vertical pressure, it's going to get quite difficult for QConfirm to really break into this bomb site. You can see Ethan's opening up lines of sight for him to use. Digital's got all kinds of information and plant denial on that objective, as well as does Fisho. So this is going to be quite difficult now for QConfirm, even should they get a breach on.
Yeah, it is always going to be tough, and that's the thing about generally like this Bakery push is you also would really love to have that vertical control, hey, because it is just so crucial to being able to deny, and Worthy with a sharp shot onto Lycolis. That's diffuser dropped, and that leaves the work all up to Spacehead and Producer Boom. They have a minute left to work here, Dev, but again, just such a difficult position in general to fight from, but for 2v4, it's going to be extra tough.
Wouldn't you just look at the way that Chiefs are enjoying this aggression? It's just go full pelt and then chill, and then play your advantage. QConfirm are really looking like a team that needs a bit of work at the moment. which is exactly what Spacehead and Producer Boom are going to have to put in the 2-on-4. 30 seconds. 1-on-4 now for Spacehead. He's quite a notable fragger, but he can't even find an exit pick. And Chiefs, that's 2 rounds where they have just looked in control from start to finish. Are we on track for another dominant match between these two teams?
It kind of feels like it. I don't want to assess too early. 2 rounds, yeah. I mean, we talked about it kind of being defender-sided. I've just looked it up. This stage in particular, Cafe's equal most played map in APAC South at 3 plays so far. 57% favored on the defense, so not heavily defender favored, but that's fairly defender favored. But to the point that you made, Chiefs have just looked in total control. Like, it's looking quite easy for them in these first 2 rounds. In particular, seeing Digital go out to 4-0 just out of 2 rounds as well. He's kind of one of those players where if he's having a bit of a banger game, it usually means they're winning. So I think this is definitely all bad signs for QConfirm out of these first couple.
I feel like I'm going to have more faith in QC once they get onto defense. I just think that in terms of attack, I think their overall attack concepts feel like they lack a little bit. Like, they're just, okay, let's push this one angle, and if we can't commit to clearing, for example, like, they didn't commit to clearing top floor on the reading attack. They didn't commit to clearing the map and getting vertical on the kitchen attack. And it does make you a little bit concerned. It's like they're kind of looking for a cheat code. They're looking for a way to skirt around the problem instead of addressing it head on.
Potentially. Potentially. What I think is going to be really important now out of QConfirm is just how do they adapt to what Chiefs is doing. I think in particular I'm noticing is just a lack of aggression or even confidence out of QConfirm, right? Like, as soon as they seem to lose one pick, they just, I don't know, they kind of hit the brakes a little bit. Looks like they're a little unsure. Even the first 40 seconds of that last round, I mean, it's always hard to judge exactly out of the first 40 seconds, but for a first floor attack, you're either going straight to the roof and pushing all the way down, or you're going straight to bakery. And the first 40 seconds is a lot of running around the outside. They opened up a rotate into white from garage. It just didn't seem 100% clear what they were going to do, and that is a run out punished beautifully by Spacehead.
And that big player that you mentioned for Chiefs, Worthy, undoubtedly their top fragger. He is put to bed nice and early. Definitely going to be a bit of a relief for the QConfirm guys. And this is the second time that we have seen them find the opening pick, but this time there was no response from Chiefs, no refrag. I feel like this is the best chance that QC have got, right? They're attacking bar, they have the man advantage, and they just get in there, take some confident fights. I have so much confidence in their ability.
Yeah, absolutely. This could be big here, but no, actually God Legions just fortuitously walked away, but really good for QConfirm to already just take advantage of this control. Spacehead getting very aggressive, that mirror, just, you know, giving him that extra reason to be restrained. But I do like it from them. It's showing us that little bit of extra confidence we've been wanting.
Should go looking to get a little bit more aggressive in piano. Looks like QConfirm are just poising around the bomb site everywhere. They've left a lot of information up, though. I will say that default camera on the 3rd floor is a gold mine of info. Look at this for Ethan. Oh, he doesn't quite commit to it. And as a result, he gets detected. They might try and rotate and cut him off here, and it looks like one player from QC is trying to do so. But at the moment, really our attention needs to turn to the bomb site because it's QC who need to make the next move.
They do need to make this next move, and this is a really important position to really get the control over. Shugai still holding Pixel means that it's just going to be a little bit tougher to really do anything through piano, and that makes taking bar all the harder. So really important that they manage to do something. Producer Boom on this rappel, I don't know, maybe he's going to be able to shut something down, but it's getting very crucial here, Dev.
Oh, and chaos starts to erupt. Dark is going huge. Producer Boom, they've just flooded the side. It's all on Ethan, 1v3. Just over 15 seconds to go. Dark forcing that diffuser down, but Hajime gives Ethan the one and the opportunity. Ethan doesn't have a strong rotation, but he tries to make it work anyway. Dodging, ducking and weaving with the Vector. In this 1-on-2, there's a player right on the other side of that bar. And Ethan's a player that we know can win these situations, but no C4. And they have the angles right back at him. QConfirm do finally erupt and find their first round.
Beautiful stuff from QConfirm. Good to get that answer back. And as we were saying, you know, as long as they can really stay in touch with the Chiefs in this defense half, they're going to keep themselves well and truly in this game. I think what's most important about that round just then is not letting Chiefs really start to run away with some momentum, because those first 2 rounds did feel so firmly in Chiefs' grasps. You'd never want them to get that confidence that they can just run over you. So this is, yeah, there's a really important answer back for QConfirm.
Yeah, QConfirm were a hard team to figure out, right? Because we've just seen such contrast from them. Remember stage 2, how they went on an absolutely insane campaign. They took down all these other teams that we thought would be the #1. They took #1 for themselves, at least until some of the other teams in the league managed to catch up. And then QConfirm have also had times when they just don't look like a very strong team at all. And it's that inconsistency that has always plagued this team. But you mentioned it. You mentioned that they weren't playing with confidence in the first 2 rounds. I feel like that 3rd round, when we saw them just say, all right, go, pedal to the metal, that was when they erupted on the site, and we started to see flashes of the greatness that we've seen from QC before. That's the QC I want to see.
Yeah, me too. And it's just funny, like, thinking about QConfirm in general across all of the 2021 season, Stage 1, they were a bit shaky, but okay. Stage 2, they played phenomenally for about 5 weeks or 5 games, 6 games. And then they kind of just really died off towards the end of Stage 2. And Stage 3, again, they've just been, I don't know, there's just something about them. They can't quite find their groove, but they are the kind of team that when they are in that groove and they start to perform really well as a roster, they can be absolutely crazy. So certainly it's now a point for Chiefs to really keep this in check and try and just maintain an advantage here on the defense half.
I think our Q pick here, gonna make spotting out Digital nice and easy. He's playing behind the reinforcement. Will Digital have the read though? As soon as Chiefs are aware that there's an IQ in play, Digital's going to be a lot more cautious, because essentially you've got wall hacks onto him. Right, that's basically what that electronics detector is. And Pulse needs to be very careful about where he walks. Ajime could certainly do a lot of work with this electronics detector, at the very least just calling out overall where the util on the map is so that QConfirm can avoid it.
This is pretty similar to what we saw happen all the way back in round 1 as well. Just a general kind of slowness towards how they approach this. Like, they really need to be trying to push for that vertical control across bar to cocktail, flushing out those positions, or they need to flush out Digital in particular and try and just make something happen in through dining. But the fact that is that we're almost 2 minutes through and Dark has really only just started to push up towards Pixel. They're only really starting to decide exactly how to get this vertical control. It's going to be creating just some difficulty and chaos as they try and set up for an execute.
Like this from Dark, and God Legion caught with his pants down, had absolutely no clue. And QConfirm have really started to make some progress here, and Ethan is the next thorn in their side. Digital needs to support vertically. That C4 doesn't find anything. And my God, the way that this has turned on its head now for the Chiefs. They've lost that top floor control. They've lost that C4 potential. And QC should well pick them apart by now. But 25 seconds, and the numbers are crippling here for both teams. It's all Worthy in the 1v4. He's got to ace or to clutch. And they know exactly where he is. Spacehead can shut him down. A very, very tight finish there for QC, but one that they got across the line.
Yeah, some really strong fragging from them, really standing up when they needed to. And that was really what put Chiefs back in their place, just kind of caught out of positions a little late. I think in particular, those top 4 players just didn't need to be as pushed up. In particular, God Legion, you know, you mentioned that he kind of got caught with his pants down. He did have absolutely no idea, which is surprising because there was Digital on the pulse. I didn't quite see where he was at that point, but he had been feeding intel to those players constantly. It kind of feels like at that point, if the pulse player has pulled off, then those players just shouldn't be so deep, right? So prone to being flanked, countered, whatever you want to call it. So a bit of a misplay, but on top of that, really good stuff from QConfirm to capitalize.
And funnily enough, despite the timer getting a little bit thin there at the end, that was the most dominant win for QConfirm, and almost you could say the most dominant win in this match so far. QConfirm have definitely made some kind of a reply here to Chiefs, and one that is being... I feel like Chiefs need to just step up their game in response, because QConfirm, they took a bit to warm up. Those first 2 rounds looked pretty pitiful. But now it's Chiefs that we're looking at and being like, oh, come on, mate. Like, you're the ones here that need to get a move on. Get on your bike.
Yeah, now they are kind of running the risk too, right? Like, if QConfirm can continue to push like this, like if they manage to win this kitchen defense, that's 3 rounds in a row, and they could potentially even take the half to their advantage. Imagine a 4-2 attack half coming out of QConfirm. That's really quite concerning if you're in the camp of Chiefs.
I feel like there's one thing that I'm seeing working for QConfirm, and it's just making plays. As soon as they, and look, I don't want to oversimplify it, right? You know, they're really good at the way they do it, and they prepare for it. They spend a lot of time getting ready, you know, measure twice, cut once. But when they do cut, their incisions are precise and very effective, and the plays that they are making, Chiefs are not prepared for.
Speaking of, looks like it's a fairly similar push last time, so will Chiefs be prepared for this? That they will. That is actually beautiful play from Ethan to utilize that vertical play from that top floor window. Gold Legion, though, he is not having a great time. He should be absolutely destroyed by that grenade, but he's managed to hang on. Means that QConfirm need to use another one to finish it off, and that they do. That gives them that bakery control. But as we were mentioning last round, this was defended way back in round 2. It's a little bit more complicated than that, so I would love to see QConfirm try and flush out some of this vertical positioning that Chiefs have.
Just trying to make a bit more of an aggressive play. There's a lot of lines of sight open in this hold, which just means that it can come down to who's watching the angle at the right time and who's got the better weapon, who's got the better shot. Dark is very keenly watching these angles. 4-on-4 though, so we can call this even for now. I've got to admit, I'm a bit scared for Chiefs. They've kind of vacated here, and QConfirm are a team that will just say, all right, shift W, go in and take it away, rip the rug out from under Chiefs' feet.
Yeah, that is so true. They are a team that will not hesitate to do so, and that was a good little bit of team play there, just creating that extra rotate for Worthy, I believe it was, to be able to go back to site. Either way, starting to get to crunch time. Just coming into this final minute, QConfirm, they are trying to push these vertical positions. Ethan just hanging on here in mining very patiently, and that is going to... Oh my god, I actually was so sure he was going to hit that onto Hajime, and he hasn't, but he's still got the positioning, most importantly here, Dev.
He's trying to support his teammates, but he's being hunted at the same time. Hajime yet to find a kill all game. That's his first, and he shuts down Ethan, who's having a ripper match. Now man advantage for QC, and Chiefs have pulled so far back. It's all digital, and Fisho guy, what a shot on the swing. The refrag should be prompt, and it is. Digital's got to make this work now in the post plant with 3 players to find. He gets a freebie. That's a 1-on-2 now for Dig. How much info has he got from these evil eyes? TCSG in hand, and Producer Boom, the rat in the corner, will close it out. QConfirm, believe it or not, they start slow, but they do take the lead here on Cafe.
That was definitely doable for Digital there, because both those players were fairly low, and I think even a body shot with that shotgun may have netted at least a down onto those players. But regardless, some wild positioning there from Producer Boom means that QConfirm have secured that 3rd round in a row, and like we were just kind of alluding to at the start of that round, Dev, Chiefs have to be really conscious here not to let this entire half slip to this 4-2 advantage for QConfirm. That would really not be a good position to be in. And this is, look, this is really tough because Bar Cocktail, I think, was probably their least convincing defense of a lot of these, and that's where they're going to have to go right here. Well, they don't have to, but that's where they're going.
Yeah, well, they have full blank slate, right? They haven't won a round in the last 3, which means there's no bomb site locked. They won Reading on their first attempt and Kitchen on their first attempt, lost both of them on the retry, and also lost Bar Cocktail on the first attempt. So yeah, going back to Bar, the only site that Chiefs are yet to win, but they're confident they can make it work. And on the QC side, we are seeing a couple of changes in the operator lineup. First is the Twitch from Hajime. He's been jumping around between Nomad and Gridlock and the IQ, but he settles for the Twitch now. And the other one is Spacehead, who has looked for this Nook pick. The only time we've seen it this match so far, and that was a 6 pick as well. What kind of a cheeky play is he going to be able to pull off?
That definitely could be a little bit cheeky there, in particular those Nook plays. You know, sometimes they can just make something happen nice and early in particular. You know, like a little sneak up white stairs is a really common one that I remember seeing on Nook quite a few times on Cafe. So yeah, look, I'm really curious to see whether that is what QConfirm are looking for here, or whether maybe the Nook pick is more so about the frag grenades. Yeah, keen to see.
Yeah, well, Sledge nades, Nook nades. At this point, you're just choosing between the hammer or that hell presence reduction. Worthy's been shut down a couple of rounds in a row now. And it's most... Oh, that's the Twitch drone. That's a nice one. But Chiefs still holding on quite aggressively here. I like the util spam here from QC, but what are they going to get on the back of it? A nade down below Skylight does break out that bar, and that's actually going to forfeit a position. Oh. Where did that nade come from? Thrown from the Skylight must have been. Digital completely shut down. Ironic that it's the Wamai who dies to the nade.
Again, just really good utility usage here from QConfirm to even make that possible. Digital, one of the two kind of informed players at the moment for the Chiefs in this game at least, you know, topping it at the scoreboard with Ethan. So there's going to be a bit of a loss. On top of the fact, no more little discs to be thrown out, magnets to catch projectiles. So this has given QConfirm a really good position in that first 90 seconds. They can even start to take some piano control here. They're all stacked up around Cigar Lounge. So in general, this is looking quite positive for them at this point of the round.
The risk here for Chiefs has got to be that a lot of their players are spaced out. They've let QConfirm plant in 2 rounds so far. And you can see how prompt QConfirm... Oh, look at this play from Spacehead! Oh, but God Legion reads it. The sprint must have given it away despite using the Hell Presence reduction. That bulletproof camera does save the day. And back and forth, my God, God Legion! He just holds down Cocktail, all for him. But this isn't done and dusted yet. QConfirm still have 2 players up to find 3 for Chiefs.
Definitely still possible. Oh, I thought Worthy was going to be in a bit of an entanglement there at Pixel, but not to be. And this is where it's really important for QConfirm to find this next frag, get it as a 2v2, and give themselves some time. Just under 30 seconds now, and they are looming towards site.
But the refrag comes through. It's good for Ethan. Oh. And the swing as well. Ethan can find the final 2 picks. Chiefs, after a rough middle there, they do manage to salvage that half 3-3.
That was so crucial for them to salvage as well. Again, it would have been a really difficult position to fight back from at the 4-2. But even still, I feel like this is a really good half there from QConfirm. Obviously, they got those 3 rounds consecutively from round 3 to 5. But even just taking that attack half 3-3, it kind of just, in a way, you can think about it negating the half, right? It's not like your opponent's got an advantage out of it. You've kept it neutral. And now that they're on that defense, they're in a really good position to try and just take that majority of the rounds to take the game.
Yeah, well, one thing that has changed here, one pattern that we're seeing is Stage 1, a really dominant win for the Chiefs, 7-0 against QC. Stage 2, a really dominant win for QConfirm, 7-1 over Chiefs. Stage 3, I think we're finally getting the culmination here, Raven. We're finally getting that decider match where one of these teams is going to win that head-to-head. And at the moment, it's being very difficult to determine which one it's going to be. This is a neck-and-neck game. And look, we are seeing QConfirm bring the fire on Cafe, which is what we predicted. We're not quite seeing as much as we had hoped from Chiefs on this map, knowing that it's not a map they play very often. But we had expected that that's because they've been hiding it and they've been working on it. But we just haven't quite seen enough yet for me to have confidence in them to close this out. I'm actually starting to lean towards QC.
Yeah, I feel like a telltale thing that really happens in that half that you do see sometimes with teams that I don't like to use the term hide, but you know, like maybe they start to play a map that they haven't played a lot of, you'll find that the first run of sites usually go quite well. Things that they've practiced are working, but it's when teams start to adapt to you and you have to readapt that you haven't had as much of that practice on. You can do so in scrims, of course, but like obviously when it comes to the official, it's a bit different. So that kind of felt like what it was, where Chiefs were just a bit stiff in terms of that readaptation to QConfirm kind of countering their initial strategies. So I feel like that's what really shone through. But this is where it's, if anything, going to be even more exposed in terms of that inexperience from Chiefs, because attack is generally the hardest thing to coordinate, and we've been saying a lot this entire match. You know, Cafe on defense is generally the comfiest side to be.
That said, Chiefs are actually looking really organized. I'm loving these plays. We've got Ethan supporting this White Stairs push. Worthy was there to help out. Digital also from below, so they're trying to force a rotation here and cut off the QC player. They spot that Jaeger, though. He did flee back into Laundry, and they just completely triangulate him. They don't let him get away with his life. And with that, Chiefs looking to take horizontal control here. This is a very methodical attack from them, and I love it.
Yeah, this is really good. And this is the thing, is if you're not really going to be taking that hard piano control, a really important aspect is just putting some pressure vertically, you know, not allowing the other team to run amok below. You're not at threat of C4s then. Not that QConfirm really have a whole lot in their pockets. In fact, none from what I can see here. But at the end of the day, that is just a general help for the attack. Now that they've got this control, they can kind of loom. You know, God Legion can be unleashed up White Stairs, and he's netted a kill out of that. So there is that too.
They also got some pressure from the nades below. Digital and Ethan both can go for these vertical nades. Here's one for Ethan. That's not likely to find anything, but it was a nice idea. Digital shut down on that window, though. This position at Pixel proving to be deadly now as Dark duels it daringly. Oh my God, Hajime goes for the swing. And it looks like QC have bit back and bit down hard. Worthy and Ethan, the two-star fraggers for this roster. Ethan having a good game. Worthy not quite on the scoreboard yet, but they're very capable of clutching this.
Yeah, Ethan's got a bit of an opening there at the top of White, but he's been spotted by the Aruni, and he's just going to have to try and push through. He doesn't. Hajime wins that one, all on Worthy's shoulders. He can do it, but not this time around. QConfirm snatch another round here, Dev, and they've taken the lead.
Taking the lead once again, but the game is still neck and neck. Chiefs started that round really strongly. They cut down Spacehead. They took that control underneath the bomb site. They found a second pick to follow up that 5v3 man advantage. And I think after that, they didn't find a single kill until it was just Worthy on his lonesome. And that's not a great sign. Not really a good sign at all for the Chiefs. QConfirm are doing a great job at sustaining this through the late round, through any deficits that they may face, and making sure that they could always have an answer to what Chiefs managed to pull off.
I think something that was also super crucial is just the fact that they lost that window player. We didn't quite see the exact scenario, but the window player on White hallway in that kind of last part of when they were starting to push up Whites. You know, that's where we saw them lose 2 players, was around that White positioning. And when that window player was off, it kind of facilitated for Hajime to just straight up swing in the face of God Legion. And once they lost all that positioning that they'd really fought to earn in that second floor, that was it. Like, it was just back to square one at that point, and it was very tough. So real credit to QConfirm. You know, like they've stood up. They got absolutely manhandled in round 1 and 2, and since then they've gone 4-1, and they've just looked like they've awoken, I guess. Like they're looking like a completely different team than what we saw in rounds 1 and 2.
They just look unafraid to make plays, to go for fights, to bring out aggression back to Chiefs, and I think that QConfirm, if they keep that up, they'll be on a very strong track. Keeping in mind, like this game, our predictions as across the talent team was neck and neck. Everyone was going Chiefs, and then I went to do my predictions, and I'm like, I think it's going to be Chiefs who's going to win, but I'm going to pick QConfirm because I think there's a chance there could be an upset, and I want to keep things interesting, right? But I mean, I'll let you in on a secret. I didn't actually think QConfirm were going to win. But here we go. I mean, I think that's just a testament to the fact that they're managing to pull off this upset here.
Just also such a classic APAC South thing, right? Like, you talk about games guarantee it. Was it the last 2 games? It's the Knights and the IG game. I can't remember, but like we all went the same, right? Like I bet you one of those results is going to go the other way because that's just the nature of APAC South. Just sometimes these teams will show up and they'll just be on fire and just do a really great job of beating their opponents. And that is just potentially what could be happening right here. QConfirm seem to have gotten a fairly decent read in what Chiefs are trying to do. And QConfirm have also figured out that as long as they play with some confidence here, they can seriously just go toe-to-toe with the Chiefs in terms of aggression and gunfights.
A lot of progress so far for Chiefs, though, as we dive into reading. A lot of pressure on the top floor, fully reinforcing that wall at Cocktail. Producer Boom, the Pulse, we saw this from Didge when Chiefs were defending this bomb site. Wasn't able to find any C4s, though. We are seeing the C4s in abundance this round for QC. 2 of them, like Colas as well, to support. As Chiefs start to make their way through that top floor, like Colas is looking to support as well, with an eye on that balcony. And a player spotted by Producer Boom. Chiefs really need to get a wriggle on. This is just not enough progress for them.
Yeah, similar issue what was happening with QConfirm is they're just hesitant to try and push across, but that is a really, really important opening pick from Ethan. Again, he's just stepping up tremendously for Chiefs. He's 9 and 4 at the moment, but this is really important. They now have a chance at this vertical control. Spacehead pretty well isolated here on this Cocktail balcony. If he manages to net one out of this, it's definitely going to be helpful for QConfirm, but losing him as they just have, giving Chiefs this solid man advantage.
What an excellent pinch from the 3 Chiefs players to find him. And now a 5v3, but we've seen QConfirm win these before. Chiefs don't have a lot of time. They're going to need to get to this vertical play right now, but Digital, time is his enemy at the moment. 20 seconds to go, and Fisher Guy has that diffuser in the pocket. QC playing the time. They don't want to feed any picks to Chiefs here. They want to play for that plant. And now Worthy covering as Fisher Guy tries to get it down like Colas denies the plant. Worthy will need to fill the position. It is all Producer Boom. 1 versus 3 now, as the plant's not going down yet. Worthy just moves in time, and now Ethan can cover. What a desperate moment for the Chiefs. What a play from Worthy to relocate at the end, and that wins Chiefs the round.
100%. If Worthy had not taken those extra just 2 seconds to reposition over to the bomb chassis side of site, that would have been a QConfirm round. There is no doubting it. So that's a really big play and some good teamwork, no doubt, because there was a player that was fragged out by Producer Boom really close to the end of that round. Didn't quite see which Chiefs player it was, but good communication, right? Like that Worthy wouldn't have moved if he didn't realize that it was his teammate on that side of the map that got picked. It would have been a very chaotic little couple of seconds. So again, that's just really good frame of mind from Chiefs to do so. And we're tied up again at 4-4.
I'm still getting over that play from Worthy. I had my heart in my mouth and my throat. I felt like it was beating all the way through. I felt like I could barely keep my voice steady, as I thought Worthy was going to not start planting soon enough. It was 0-0 on the clock when he started holding F there, and thank God that he did in time, because that would have been a horrible way to lose it. But as would have the flank from Lycola for Producer Boom. And it was very, very close. The Pulse played it so well, but Worthy just showing that even if he's not necessarily lighting up the scoreboard, there is immense value in him as a player. You mentioned the read or the comms or whatever it was that made him, in the space of about 500 milliseconds, realize, okay, that's where my teammate died. That's where the player must be. I have to move the plant. And that is the kind of play that a really top-level player can do that so many others can't.
That is so true, and this is where it gets really interesting. I mean, you want to talk about the plays that top-level players can make. Well, this is where they need to shine, right? This is coming down to quite the crunch, and you know, there is a star player in particular on Chiefs side who is starting to really stand out. That's Ethan. He's out at 10 and 4. He started to really have a lot of good games back to back. You know, like I feel like I remember the first couple. It's not like he was doing bad. He was doing all right, but it's just like no time at all, and Ethan is kind of back to his old wildcard kind of form.
definitely an exciting prospect for the man, the myth, the legend himself. For those who don't know, back in the wildcard days, I mean, he was just the undisputed best player in OS, wasn't he? Like, he was just popping 20 bombs like it was nothing. And Worthy definitely was taking that mantle for the best player in OS recently, the highest fragger. And so definitely having that duo on the roster, backed up by God Legion, who is an insane fragger in his own right. And Digital, I want to say, the last couple months, that sports psychology must have done Digital wonders, because he is really coming into his own.
He actually has, yeah.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, definitely a lot more consistent on his side, but...
Oh, no!
Oh, Hajime, that is just nasty. Poor Fisher guy. At least he's done his most important job there, right? Like, he's tricked that wall. They've been able to use that soft breach to get it open. So that's some good base through control from Chiefs. But look, again, time management has been a big factor in this entire game. Both sides have just really struggled with it a bit on attack. Cafe can be like that in general. They've got some control here, but they need to either flush out vertically or just facilitate some kind of pinch, because even with this wall open and direct kind of pathway in towards plant, they need some disruption to actually do so.
Oh, I like that C4. Clears the air jab off that double door, keeping the pressure on to Chiefs. QConfirm can still make that rotation in the late round if they need to. Heavy plant denial here for QC. What are Chiefs going to do about it?
Yeah, they are going to have to try and consider that in their plans. QConfirm playing very patiently as well, just holding back, knowing they still have a decent advantage against the Chiefs, saying, come and try it. Hajime gets a pick onto God Legion. This is falling apart here for Chiefs Dev.
Oh, and they don't have the vertical play either. Chiefs now fighting from behind, but they even up the numbers like nothing. And now it's up to Worthy and Digital to hold on. Is there a yokai in play? Because if there is, it could be all over, but Worthy managed to get it down just in time. It's all on him in the 1-on-3. Player down, they've got the info. There's absolutely no way they can lock that one in. What a retake for QConfirm. A bit of BM at the end of it, but they do once again take the lead. And a 1 round off match point. So it sounds like, I mean, I think you can hear me still, Raven, but apparently you've disconnected from the, yeah, well, I mean, the stream can't, so you can say whatever you want right now. Actually, you probably don't, just for safety reasons. But it is indeed a very close game at the moment. QConfirm are looking the goods. The fact that they managed to pull off that retake, the first successful post-plant the defenders have won thus far in this match. Certainly a boon. Now they just need the 1 round to cop their first point to guarantee OT and keep that regulation win on the cards. If I'm honest here, I'm really sweating for Chiefs. They've looked good, but they just haven't looked better than QC.
All right, I should be back. Hey.
Well, welcome back, my friend.
Thanks for covering, Dev. You did such a great job, man.
Oh, thanks, mate. I mean, I did get a bit lonely without you, I will say.
Oh, good. I'd be sad otherwise. But yeah, no, look, I think what I was trying to say, just super quick to tie up my point before, is just in general, QConfirm showing right here that they can do all kinds of things in this game. They can be aggressive, they can frag out, they can be patient, and know when they've got a winning hand. And I think that's a really important sign for their team, because as we've highlighted, you know, they haven't been one of the most consistent teams in APAC South. They've had some struggle moments.
Makes it difficult to place both of these teams. Both of them have kind of been on the outside looking in this year. Both of them sitting in that middle pack. But Chiefs, we've seen from their local performance that they are absolutely capable of wonders. And it's been a gradual incline for them, and one that they've been well and truly just steaming up. Hasn't been too much trouble whatsoever. But QC, they made those playoffs in stage 2, and while they didn't quite go as deep as they would have liked, I'm sure that that gave them a taste for more.
Yeah, I think if anything, it just at least showed them that they can do it. I feel like I remember from stage 1 in particular, they just seemed to lack a lot of confidence. I know they were playing with a bit of a different roster. They brought healthcare in, who's now known as Spacehead. He is in the server. And he did kind of reinvigorate them. But from that point on, they just never seem to have found some consistency. But boy, oh boy, taking Ethan out was the opening death. That's a really big play there on QConfirm's part.
No trade, no more nades, no more Geminis. That is a huge pick for QC. And Chiefs really need to get to work here. Let's see this from Fisher. Go trying to use that hard breach, expose these positions at Cocktail. And on the back of it, QC fall back. They're going to play top white now, not completely forfeiting the top floor. But it's also getting difficult for Chiefs to really figure out what the go is. There's a lot of setup here to munch through, but God Legion takes matters into his own hands. Might not realize there's another player up top. Spacehead for the trade, and the trade back again. 3-on-3 with a minute to go.
Some really good trades in this round in particular, but has started to really creep up as a prominent thing in the match. Either way, this has kind of opened things up for Chiefs here. They've got some really good vertical control. They can start to put pressure on with a bit more time than back in round 8. And of course, that is the only attack they've won so far. So surely the Chiefs are feeling a little bit confident coming into this round or as they progress through. But time's starting to tick away. Just over 30 seconds to go. And Lycolis is still looming offside here as the Vigil. So he may be able to evade some of these flank drones.
There's only 3 flank drones all up, so Chiefs really feeling that pressure. Lycolis did get spotted, did get tagged, and that's a play from Producer Boom. Shut down Worthy on the floor. Fisher guy steps up for the squad, but Hajime can get that one back. It's all on Digital. Hajime could make this 1v3 a statement and send QC to OT, or guarantee it, lock them in for match points. What is that? Digital cannot do it, and the 1v3 clutch is locked in. QConfirm, match point.
Boy, oh boy. That was, look, very good play there from Hajime in particular, very advantageous. He knew that there was a player down, and it's one of those situations, right, where you have a player down next to you, or a teammate, I should say. There was like 6 or 7 seconds on the clock. I can't quite remember exactly how many at that point, but it is the point where you have to think, I have enough time to revive my teammate, but we'll have to just absolutely rush it. And they made the decision to go for the revive. Hajime played that gamble. You know, if they were going for the revive, it was going to be an easy 2-kill, and that's exactly what happened, and it's totally changed the way that round was playing out. Remind you, it was a 1v3 situation. Just, yeah, look, fantastically capitalized there. And this is a really tough position for Chiefs right now. They've only won 1 attack so far, and they need to get 2 consecutively here to push it to overtime.
And as of that round, just then, QConfirm have successfully defended all 3 bomb sites. They know they can do it. And Chiefs, on the other hand, not only losing Ethan early, but losing the 3-on-1. I mean, you've got to credit the play from Hajime, right? But so many things must have gone wrong there for Chiefs. So many things all at once as well. And it definitely starts to mount that pressure up for the team that, up until now, in Stage 3, has looked the goods. 3rd place, the Chiefs were sitting, and still are sitting technically, at this point right now. 3rd place for Stage 3, 3rd place for the whole season. That would be looking very good for both a major, or at least major qualifier placement, the APAC playoffs placement, as well as for a potential season finals placement as well. QConfirm, though, barely behind. Stage 3, 6th place, season 5th place. And with this win, they could rocket up.
That's true, and I guess that's the other, I know we talk about it a lot, you know, classic APAC South. Everything is quite close, right? So even with regard to the broader season standings, a couple of decent victories in Stage 3 could rocket you up even those season standings. So again, every match so crucial here, and the fact that QConfirm have been able to show up and really stand up to what has been generally a strong Chiefs outfit in this stage. This is a really good testament to what QConfirm could bring.
Now, QC win this game, they will tie Chiefs and Wildcard for points. That's in 2nd to 4th place. That's for Stage 3. And for the season, my God, okay, well, Chiefs aren't going down without a fight. But for the season as well, QConfirm would be looking so good, also tying Chiefs on points. So both of these teams, should QC win this, will be neck and neck. But the Chiefs will not go down without a fight. They are bringing the heat here, staring down match point.
Yeah, looking pretty good for Chiefs so far at the start of this round at least. It's always good to get that opening kill, but they're halfway through the round, so this is where map control is going to start to become very, very crucial. They have not got an actual rotate there in through that little coat corner, so I was going to have to just yeet into Cigar Lounge as it is. But again, just being very conscious of time. Chiefs really have to keep this rolling, and I think even just give themselves an extra gap with man advantage, because right now this is still not a particularly comfortable position to be in on attack.
Cafe attack is always something difficult. But Chiefs have got the advantage. Will they buckle under this pressure? God Legion ready for an entry. As the X-Kairos does ring out. Dark still has a lot of mobility here. A lot of angles are open, but he's going to use them to the best of his ability. God Legion just passively watching this flank. And Dark, how much damage will he do? There's info gathering for that position. A C4 over the top, but blind. And it nets nothing. Still the Aruni, though, holding in backstore. And just waiting for this peak to come through. QConfirm hold on as best they can. The flash is full white for the player in backstore, and Ethan goes big once again. Dark still holding on to this position, but Chiefs aren't giving him anything. Feeling the pressure now, and Ethan once again, but Hajime Dex does manage to get one. Spacehead in the 1-on-4. There's 5 seconds left, and Digital can lock that. Chiefs are fighting back and pushing for overtime.
Fighting back, I tell you what, that was easily their best attack round so far. That was just phenomenal from the get-go. I mean, they got that opening kill and they just did not let up. I was a bit worried for them though. I mean, Dark was playing in that backstop position for quite a long time, and that is such a strong position to be for plant denial and just general hindrance when you've got an attacking team trying to attack on bar. And yeah, I think it was about 30-second mark when they really only just started to try and flush him out of that. I felt like it definitely could have fallen apart for Chiefs, but no, they really banded together, and that was a phenomenal way to end that round for Chiefs.
And on the back of it, QConfirm with their last chance to lock in the 3 points for a regulation win. They take their tactical timeout right now. What do they need to be chatting about here?
Replicating that last round? I think in particular, it's going to be Bar Cocktail. I mean, they don't necessarily know that, but they just played that round really well. I mean, there was definitely some efficiencies that they could have...
I mean QC, they're the ones taking the tack.
Oh, QC. I swear you said Chiefs. I don't know. Maybe my mind just totally slipped.
That ain't it, Chief.
Ah, jeez, Dev.
Had to sneak it in there.
Look, QConfirm what they need to be talking about. I think just reminding themselves not to stress, because I mean they've played quite well ever since round 3 here. It's just a very recent resurgence from Chiefs, so just don't get bullied. Readapt. You know, Chiefs got very aggressive on that round comparatively to previous rounds. They didn't quite go super hard on the map control, so just slow them down a bit. I wouldn't even be surprised to see QConfirm maybe try a spawn peak. You know, like Colas, I think in the past, Producer Boom as well. Generally players that aren't too afraid to go for that, but I just think something to put Chiefs kind of back in the box after that round would be pretty important.
Are we feeling the OT? I know Guz said he's been smelling overtime ever since this game was confirmed to go to Cafe, and he reckons Chiefs are going to take it. I'm not so convinced. I think Chiefs have had some fantastic rounds, right? Like, both of these teams have had 2 rounds where they've won with 4 players left alive. And I'm thinking it's just very hard to split. I don't feel like Chiefs could find 3 of the next 5.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's tough. I think it depends on the sides, but even then, to that point, you know, it was a 3-3 first half, so maybe that doesn't quite matter as much. The fact that it's Bar Cocktail makes me actually kind of feel QConfirm for this round. I mean, I predicted Chiefs, but I feel like this is just instant adaptation for QConfirm at a pretty crucial point, and that last round felt like an anomaly overall. I feel like QConfirm can adapt to this.
If there's anything that was the most significant blow for Chiefs, it was that clutch round from Hajime, 1v3. But there won't be a chance for him to repeat that. Not right now. It's not reading and Fireplace. We're back up to Bar Cocktail, repeating what QConfirm just failed to defend, what Chiefs managed to pull off so well. But it definitely helps when you find that opening pick for free, and that's something that Chiefs have managed to pull off quite a few of their attacks, but when they haven't, it has really been a struggle. QC have had a very high conversion rate for their opening picks on this defense.
Yeah, and the fact that this first minute looks like it's about to tick by with no opening kill, I think can only really favor QConfirm in this situation. Just very curious. It looks like Spacehead is just going to hard stick this little cheeky roam here. You know, we've seen Chiefs before kind of clear across that second floor and try and go for that control, and seems to be the case here. Ethan's going to use that Gemini to push up White, just figure out where these positions are, and he has spotted out Spacehead, so... Or did he? I feel like he did, right?
He must have.
Surely.
Surely as well, hearing the carbine from Jaeger ring out, but I believe the Gemini was actually shot through the vert above by Hajime. So he should know those players' positions both. Spacehead back on his backside, but gets back up.
That's at least going to indicate it. And look, liking this in Spacehead and Lycolis, looks like they're going to both default to red stairs and just really put some pressure around here.
No!
And, oh no,
The
Ethan, the timing.
That trade does make it worth it though, but another trade back and the flank is red hot and ready, but Fisho guy, he's not watching for the seconds. There's another player coming up the stairs. Spacehead retreats back, and this has turned hot all of a sudden, and Fisho guy, what is that? He forfeits another pick. God Legion needs to nail the shot. Digital is nowhere to support. God Legion tries to pre-fire. Digital goes down. God Legion in the one-on-one for the map. Could Producer Boom win it with the shotgun? God Legion's trying to make the wider angle work, but Producer Boom only has the super shorty in his hands. God Legion does not know where he is, and he's going to try and bait out this plant. As Producer Boom waits and baits. God Legion may well have heard him once again, but the super shorty! Producer Boom clutches the 1v1, and QConfirm lock in 3 points for a regulation win.
Oh, that round just got chaotic so quickly, and that was an intense end, but look, you got to commend QConfirm. Really good game from them. You know, 2 rounds in, we were pretty hesitant to write them off, but it just felt like it was going to be one of those games that was traditional to this series or these 2 opponents, where it was going to be a 7-0 or like a 7-2 or something really stompy. But from that point on, QConfirm just really stepped it up. Great job from them. I've got to say though, I think God Legion leaving that BPC on Cocktail was totally the end of him in that round.